I'm Grant. I wrote half of Dinero Verde, and I played...
like 2/3.
Okay. And I played a Glest, and I directed it.
I am John. I am the editor, music composer, and I play Cristobal.
And I'm Zach Hyder, and I basically did nothing but play Pedro.
Okay, so we're going to do our little commentary for you, so here goes Dinero Verde with commentary.
Yeah, well, you see at the beginning here, if you notice, this is a Spanish movie, but the newspaper is clearly in English. And also there's this weird little face that keeps staring at the camera that's kind of creepy.
It's like one of those things where you walk in like a haunted mansion and
The eyes
follow you.
So, if you notice, we're not native Spanish speakers, so it's harder to speak Spanish. It's harder to memorize lines in Spanish than in English. So we tried to hide the script as best as we could in some scenes. Like in this scene, the script for Zach is inside of the newspaper, which is why he keeps looking at the newspaper even when his house gets shot up later in the scene.
And the script for me was on the stoop of the house, and that's why I'm looking down.
And away.
And if you look in the glass, you can see John or Zach doing something really, really stupid, and you can see my dog.
Every once in a while, she runs up and looks out the window at us.
It's kind of strange.
Ayo.
Ayo. It's supposed to be...
Ayo.
Is it Ayo?
Yeah, it is Ayo.
Yeah, okay.
But several times through the movie, we say Ello.
I say hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, puppet.
So I came up to Grant, and we both actually had an idea to do a Spanish movie. So I started writing the first few pages of the script up to the playground sequence, and then Grant took over from there.
And I turned it more into a Spanish soap opera by twisting it and turning it and making everything go crazy every which way.
Yeah. This is a fun movie to shoot. It was a pain to edit, but it was pretty fun. Okay, if you could, yeah, the dog just ran up in the window if you saw that. So here's the gun. If you watch, here comes the little Photoshop bullet hole if you look carefully in the window. It's kind of hard to see.
Not really, I can see. I mean, when you hear the glass shatter, you're going to look at the glass, so I guess people saw it.
Yeah. You know what, normally it would probably break all the windows, but
yeah,
we can't do that.
Now, one thing someone commented was, I wonder what is so important in the paper that Pedro keeps reading the newspaper. Well, that's the script, as we've already pointed out.
Here, this scene, we've had to edit it down. You see it's flashing and then the car's just jumping. That's because the entire scene by itself was almost unusable. Number one, because Grant's sister, who was driving the car, was doing really weird stuff, like she was turning up the radio really loud, and she just, when she got out of the driveway, she went backing down the street.
As
like
you see in the bonus gag reel.
She went like 3 times farther than she needed to, so I just had to carefully edit it to get rid of all that stupid stuff.
Now right here, you notice there's no volume. There's no sound at all. And what happened was that John said something in English, and we didn't even realize it until John was looking at the footage after we had recorded everything.
Yeah. So I had to blank out the scene because I said yes. Later in the film, I had to do it again.
Because I said freeze.
Yeah, when he played cop number 2, yeah, he said freeze, and of course that's English.
I'm learning to read. Don't yell at me.
We kind of had to cut it up to the scene a little bit, and Grant can tell you a little bit more about that.
Cutting up the scene because we wanted to hold the script up, but we didn't want the script to be in the shot. So we held the script right above the camera, and we looked at the camera, and then we were supposed to make it look like we were looking at each other. And this part, I like the sound effect that John put in, and the gunfire matches exactly this.
This is actually the 3rd take we used of me running into the forest, because the first 2 takes, there were some weird kids hiding in the forest, and when I ran into the forest, they started yelling and screaming and stuff. So we kind of had to take that out.
And he was out of breath by then.
Yeah, running back in the forest and stuff.
But now, one thing I really find funny in the whole movie is the characters are so dynamic. They change from totally different at the beginning to like the weirdest things at the end, because like Glest, he turns from this kind of mean, you know, gangster kind of guy, and at the end he's like happy and he likes pie for
Dale
some
will do
reason.
that to you. I guess that's kind of what happens once you have someone write the first half and someone else write the second half. It just twists it.
Yeah. Pedro, of course, at the beginning is like this. He is almost like the victim. He's the innocent one. And then at the end, he sort of becomes the godfather of the whole thing. Cristobal remains pretty static. He remains the goofy, wimpy one throughout the entire thing.
Yeah. Here we taped up the scripts to the wall on some cardboard we found in the basement.
Now, I disagree with that. Cristobal, for like a few scenes near here, he is a lot. I mean, he starts saying, "Hey, well, why don't I hang on to the money?" It's like, no, and it's like, you know, they get in the fight, and actually off camera, I slapped John.
I think you might be able to hear it.
Yeah, I think you can hear it. But I mean, when we're saying yes, no, I like slap him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny because there's so much that you don't see sometimes in this movie.
Cristobal does a lot of running in this movie. That's the only, like, take charge type thing he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you notice, in this next scene, you see Igles runs through the door, and then the next thing that happens, Cristobal comes charging through the door, and followed by Pedro. And guess who's the first person to walk into the basement? Like, Pedro. Now, where's Cristobal?
Maybe they switched. I'm sorry that someone had to be behind the camera during this whole thing. Oh, the guy I just hit down was Crusher, which will be hopefully appearing in a new Myth Crushers episode that we hope to do sometime soon.
Yeah. So watch for Myth Crushers coming up soon. Episode 2 on Edges.
Revenge of the Myth.
Oh, yeah. This is an interesting scene. This is the third movie that we've done where I have knocked out somebody with a pool stick in the script.
Zach's jealous of him because he wanted to do it.
Yeah, this is the third movie. First movie, obviously, I was the one getting hit. Yeah, I was the one getting hit by
I was the victim
John.
in the next two movies. The second one is a sequel to a movie that hasn't come out yet because we're remaking it, and it's remaining secret to the public except for those who know what it is, and that's most people who know us.
Thank you for elaborating on something that nobody will care about.
You're welcome.
Yes, future generations will never really care.
Okay, Zach, I think you'd like to talk about this scene.
Where are you going? I didn't write that in the script. I just said he would like to get a drink.
No, I meant the chair scene.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my favorite scene. Okay. Well, in the gag reel, you can see that Grant has a little trouble getting out of the chair because I wrapped yarn. Not even anything strong.
Yarn can be tough.
Yarn around the chair.
Yarn is tough, people. Don't believe him.
Okay, well, what happened was it was just yarn. So I like wrapped it around for like maybe 5
20.
times.
20. You can clearly.
3.
7.
Like at least 5. But anyway, and it's like I didn't even tie it. It's just like you couldn't get out because it was just it wouldn't unwind when you started with getting out of the chair. It was just so fun. Oh yeah, right there. If you saw, Cristobal stumbled because I slapped him. It's just funny.
There's me in my cop outfit. I have this lousy cut-up piece of colored yellow paper to be a star, and I have a fake mustache on, which is paper, but on YouTube it doesn't look like paper because it's so fuzzy.
I'm sorry for right here. I said abogado wrong, and I know it's supposed to be like abojado. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Here's where he says freeze.
Yeah.
I like the harmonica solo.
Right here, that is where all of a sudden he likes pie. All of a sudden he just says "Me gusta pastel."
I was actually playing the harmonica. That was actually me. Yes. And there was money supposed to be in there. In case you couldn't see, there's money.
Okay, thanks for listening and watching us. Watch Edges. Bye.